What's going on, big strong gamers? It has been Today we're going to be going over the top 5 needed updates for Cold War Zombies Year 2. Let's get into it. The first update we need is a Tombstone rework, and you could say this for all perks, but especially with Tombstone, if you see these tiers, right, you see these bad boys. If you look at tier 5, prevents perk decay even when down. Tombstone Toda is always used. Okay, look, the problem with this is if you down, you lose all your perks no matter what, even if you use your Tombstone Shadow, which is the whole purpose of this perk. Another issue with this perk as well, not even the fact that that just doesn't work at all, it's you could spawn away maybe 75 meters away from your body. You can't buy any doors or anything of the sort around that matter, and you could possibly just lose your whole game just because the perk is glitched, and Treyarch still has not fixed it. I know I might be sounding crazy for just wanting this, but Tombstone would actually be a really good perk, and one that could actually be extremely useful, especially in high rounds. I mean, using the Tombstone Shadow is a little bit risky, but you can maneuver and even use your score streaks as the Tombstone Shadow to get back to your body, which honestly I think would be better than Quick Revive, to be fairly honest. It would. I mean, being able to get all your perks without having to spend like 40,000 points because of how expensive perks are, it'd make the game a lot more easier in terms of the high rounds, at least being able to get back to your body, because, you know, Quick Revive, you're not going to be able to kill with that little pistol after, like, I don't know, around 15 or 20. Tombstone would actually be extremely useful, and I really wish they would do a rework, at least for Cold War Zombies Year 2, you know, the thing we're in right now, and just add something along the lines for that. It'd make the game a lot more, like, I don't know, playable in terms of solo, because playing in co-op, you wouldn't really necessarily need it, but for, you know, solo, it would be a lot more nice, because that's one of the 4 perks that we got as an addition, and it'd be nice if it actually worked. The next update I believe would actually help the game a lot would be actual Easter egg rewards. I mean, I've played every Easter egg in this game and beaten them, and honestly, you get a calling card and bragging rights. That's really about it. And this doesn't even just go for Cold War Zombies. This could even be in Vanguard Zombies as well. Just having the ability to get actual rewards, like maybe a cool weapon blueprint or maybe a specific skin or something along the lines of that, would actually benefit the Easter egg community a lot, and I think it adds to the replayability of the game, because people would actually try to grind Easter eggs even if they're newcomers or not. I mean, being able to get a cool weapon skin that I think you only could get exclusively would be a lot more beneficial, I think. I mean, they've done this inside of Onslaught, where if you do X amount of games and get X amount of gold chalices, you get a specific weapon skin, which is so sad to think that Onslaught has game specific content which you can only get from playing Onslaught and achieving that, and actual Easter eggs don't, which could take lots of amount of time and practice. I mean, it is a little bit easier on Cold War Zombies, but then again, having some sort of reward is better than nothing, regardless being easy or not, or just bad or terrible. I mean, some of the Onslaught content is actually really nice in terms of the cosmetics, but we get none of that in actual Zombies, which is so insane, because you think they would actually just go for it and just say, hey, yeah, you get this really cool skin if you know, complete the Easter egg 4 or 5 times. Maybe if you do it flawlessly this time, you might get it in a blue color or something along the lines of that. You know, I think it'd be nice to see that, or maybe just like exclusive like XP bonus for the season, maybe like a 5% or 2% bonus for each Easter egg that was completed on one map with a maximum amount of one time, you know, capping out at about 8%, which I don't know, it's just talk, but I think it would be really nice just overall to see some sort of content that's exclusive to the Easter egg community that would encourage more players to, you know, contribute in playing with Easter eggs and exploring the game, rather than just complaining that they got to round 30 and stopped playing. I don't know. I've always wanted content for Easter eggs where we actually get something in return, but we've never got that. Same goes for Cold War, but in Year 2 Cold War Zombies, I would love to see it, and I'm sure plenty of others would. This goes back to number 5, and I would love to see more tier upgrades. I know a lot of people are saying that they are extremely overpowered, in which they are, but let's be honest here, all the perks have been added in the game. Wonder weapons have been maxed out, max strats. I mean, people are getting around 1,000 on Outbreak. It's granted to say that putting in more tier upgrades in the game really wouldn't hurt it, and I think it'd be nice to see it in the categories of just D, all of the above. I mean, seeing perks getting more, weapons, just all of it. I mean, I think it'd be really nice to see it, because, well, I mean, some of the upgrades for them are really overpowered, but some are extremely underwhelming. I mean, most of them are good, but there's just a couple, say for example like submachine guns, they help, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really help when you compare it to something along the lines of shotguns, or even the assault rifles, because you get like 8 attachments. You just have max attachments, while on submachine guns or some of the other weapons like sniper rifles, you can't have maximum attachments, which to me makes no sense. And I think it kind of removes the gameplay aspect of it, because, well, you have all these tier upgrades, but if one tier upgrade is better than the other, say for example shotguns versus snipers, I could have more attachments on my shotguns. Why even use a sniper if I could just statistically wise have a better experience in terms of gun gameplay? It doesn't make too much sense when you actually think about it. And when you're trying to balance it out as well, having 8 attachments on a gun versus a gun with 5, you're going to pick the one that has 8 attachments, because, well, you could probably have more, maybe a little bit more aim down sight speed, damage, reload speed, etc, etc. You could express how you want with the gun a little bit more, which a lot more players will enjoy. Personally, I like having more attachments because, well, you could just have a lot of fun and just change it up and make the gun look stupid, wacky, make it long range, short range, this, that, or the other. And if you only have 5, it's a little bit harder and it can take away from the gameplay experience. But that doesn't just go for weapons as well. I mean, this goes for pack-a-punch abilities as well. I mean, I love Brain Rot, I love Shatter Blast, but they're really good alone. They don't probably need the upgrade, but say for example something along the lines of Napalm Blast or maybe Cryo Freeze, they could use a buff, to be honest. I mean, granted, Cryo Freeze is pretty good, but seeing an extra maybe tier or 2 upgrade for it where it actually just increases it a heck of a lot more rather than just buffing the actual thing itself, I think it'd work a little bit better, because, well, then you would actually have a little bit more content to grind, and also you could make the tiers extremely hard to get, more rewarding at the end. But, you know, this is just my opinion, but I think it'd be really nice to see extra tiers in terms of, you know, just everything. I think it would work really well, and I would love to see it in year 2. The next update we need in Cold War Zombies year 2 is the Cerberus and the Chrysalis in Outbreak. Now, I know that might seem like a small complaint, but we have gotten the ray gun and also the ray K in Cold War Zombies in Outbreak, but for some reason we haven't seen the Cerberus or the Chrysalis, which makes no sense because both of them would do extremely well. I believe the Cerberus would do a little bit better, but personally I think it'd be really nice to see both wonder weapons, because we have a lot to do in Outbreak, and to be honest, there's a lot of crammed areas which would be nice for the Chrysalis, and also having more gun variety, weapon variety, wonder weapon variety would do a lot of wonders, because, well, if you only have 2 or 3 technically wonder weapons to pick from, usually people are going to go with the ray gun just because it's a little bit more powerful than both of the others. But if you have something like the Cerberus or the Chrysalis in it, it would change up the gameplay style and the meta, and I think it would add a lot of variety in the game, make it a little bit more fresh, because personally I believe that the last 2 wonder weapons in the game are the best, and I think a lot of us can agree. I mean, just with the gameplay shown right now, it just absolutely melts, and it's only tier 2 pack-a-punch. I can only imagine how this would work in Outbreak. I think it would work really good, especially against Orda, and maybe if you're going for the boss fight, I think it'd be really fun. But personally, I would love to see these 2 weapons, just these 2, for the final update in Outbreak. I think it'd work wonders in year 2. Finally, the last update needed for Cold War Zombies year 2 would be Zombies Chronicles. And I know everybody talks about this, and if you haven't played Black Ops 3 and you're new to the community, you started in Cold War or whatever, you probably know what this is by now just because everyone talks about it. But I would love to see the addition of new maps, new remastered maps or reworked maps in Cold War Zombies. The Cold War Zombies engine is absolutely fun. I mean, if this engine doesn't scream fun, I really don't know what to tell you, with the addition of basically every single perk in Zombies just crammed into one. No perk limit, extremely fun movement. I mean, it would be absolutely perfect for Victus maps, especially maps like Buried and Dive Rise. I would love to see Mob of the Dead and a couple of others, but it would be really nice to see these maps just in the game. It doesn't even have to be completely designed around it, but I would love to see it, and it would actually add to the game so much. I mean, Cold War Zombies would get just a breath of extra life for an extra year or 2, and it would make the game a lot more playable, because there's only 4 maps, and let's be honest, not everyone likes Outbreak. So if you don't, you're stuck with 4 maps. One of them's bad, so you have basically 3. And to be honest, I think adding maybe 4 or 5 extra maps, even if they're remastered, would add to the game, like I said, and it would make it just a lot more fun. Plus, a lot more people know about the Victus maps more than the Cold War maps, so it would add a lot more player base to the actual Zombies community, which I think would be really nice, especially with a lack of content we are getting within, you know, Vanguard zombies, which is a little unfortunate, but I'd rather have Zombies Chronicles 2 on Cold War Zombies by a long shot, just because the system is a lot better. But I think that is going to wrap it up. I think about everyone could agree with this list, or at least like 2 or 3 with these at least. But if you made it far, you deserve a cookie, and I love you. And make sure you leave a like and subscribe, join the Discord, all that nonsense. You know how this goes. If you made it far, that's how it is. You've heard this before. But other than that, gamers, I will see you guys next one. Hope you have a wonderful day. See ya.